Let's go through just the character sheet. All into max mag. Our stats are 24, 32, 16. Recoveries look okay, not necessarily great. We are a vampire. I don't remember what stage we are, but we need to be stage 3. I don't know if we're there yet. We'll be able to see in the character sheet. Okay. We're vampire stage 1, which is going to increase our cost by 5% to go to stage 3, which to me isn't terrible. I think we'll be able to survive, and I'll show you why in just a second. Everything else, spell power is going to be around 31. It can go higher, but that would bring our max mag down. It just depends on how you want to run the build. We are on a Nord. That's why our resistances are looking so juicy to start off with. And I'll go into why we might. Oh, actually, we don't even need to borrow spell damage because we're going to end up being very powerful in the end because we're running powerful assault. Why is that not proccing powerful assault? Do we have to be in combat? While in combat. Yeah, whatever, bro. So anyhow, um, we become more powerful the more we're in combat, and that actually powers up our heals, and then actually makes us more survivable. You don't have to run PA. You can run something else that you feel like you might need to have help you, survive in combat. Okay, but we'll get there. Jewels of Misrule. I like the max health and I like the dual recoveries because you're going to be having a break free regardless. Our boon is the Thief right now. I tried using the Lady for more resistances, but I felt like it wasn't really needed, and we'll go into why in just a second. Why is because if we become the vampire, right? We become the vampire. As the vampire, we can use the Undeath passive, which makes us very tanky at 30% health, or whatever that says. 30% mitigation as we lose health, right? And then on our back bar, we're going to have a sword and board. We're going to have a defending sword and board, and that's going to make us even tankier, right? Defending sword and board. What that also allows us to do on the back bar is to block with stamina and heal with magic if we're being focused. If we're being focused as a healer and we're just getting beat on, bang, 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 we can't do it anymore, we're having a hard time, we're going to go to the back bar. We're going to block with stamina and heal with magicka as we take the pounding. Okay, we're going to be a vampire, so we're going to be able to deal with some of this just by standing there. The next thing we have on the back bar, which is going to help us with our hugely with our mitigations, is revealing flare, because you need to be able to reveal night blades. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. The very bottom one says while starting game, major protections. I want you guys to be able to have access to skills that'll make the game easier for you, so you're not having to heal like a million times and have 1,000 different heals on the bar. If you are a supreme healer, right, and you're out there just crushing it in life, and that's great. Go right ahead and heal your pants off, and heal everybody's pants off or on. But if you're looking to make things a little easier and not, have to crush it so hard, then you're going to have major protection for 40% mitigation by slotting that. And you'll have one less skill you have to worry about. And you'll have lost it. 10% mitigation for being a vampire, or whatever the vampire is, for being undead. And then you're also going to, because I'm a Nord, I'm going to also have resistances naturally because I'm a Nord. And I'm also going to build ultimate for being in combat because I'm a Nord. I'm going to have 1,500 stamina because I'm a Nord. I'm going to have 1,000 extra max health because I'm a Nord. I'm going to have more frost resistance because I'm a Nord. Not that the frost resistance is really great in PvP, but, we got to make it dramatic, okay? So we're building ultimate. We're tankier. We're a vampire. We have major protection. We're blocking with a shield on the back bar, okay? That's the character. We are also running the Thief because we want to crit the heals, because the reason why critting heals is important, and you're not running the Lover, and you're not running a powered staff on the bar, and you can if you like. The reason why crit heals are important is because in PvP, when I get a crit heal to go off, it's going to make a huge difference versus waiting for my hots to lift my characters up. This is not PvE. In PvE, you can wait for your hots to do most of your work for you. Okay? You can. It's not a big deal. In PvP, the hots will be okay if it's just one of you trying to do the hots, but it's not going to be great, right? So if there's multiple of you guys and you're all running hots on each other, and they're like, you have this overlapping heal kind of coming through for everybody, fabulous. If that's not happening, then critting those hots is going to be way more important than having powerful hots by using powered heals. I hope that makes sense. Okay. All right, because all heals are cut in half in Cyrodiil, the more often we crit, the better. And it's just a crazy show out there. If you're running dual builds like this, I would almost recommend that both builds run the yellow vigor, the echoing vigor, so that they are now doubling up their heals on top of one another, instead of one running green and the other one running green, and now you have two people running green, and the heal lasts for 4 seconds. That's not going to be extremely helpful in PvP if I'm constantly having to go back to my back bar and pop a heal every 4 seconds. So if you're at Cyrodiil and there's at least 2 of you, everybody runs echoing. Write that again. 1684. That's the restoration staff. And then you have 1799 for the echoing vigor. Echoing vigor is a better heal than radiating regen. Not only is it better in the idea that it does a better heal, but it's also better because everybody in this area, everybody, there could be 7 people. I could be running a 6-man team, right? All 6 of them. Thank you. This one, recast, only hits 3 people. 3, 3, 3. Right? I'm wasting time. Echoing vigor, no waste of time. Hit it once, back to the front bar. Everybody around you got it. Okay? Make sure you have echoing if you're running with your teams, and try to ask your other teammates to run echoing as well. That's just the best way to be about it. If you're running through a Cyrodiil also, you're going to be, the skills you cast need to be efficient, so just be careful with the skills you're having on the bar, because some of them you're going to be laying down, and you or the enemies might be running right out of them, so you're not getting a real big heal out of it, okay? It might be a ground AoE. Unless you're sitting there with ground AoEs all around you, that's a different story, right? If you're sitting there trying to take a keep, then I might pull Purge off the bar and run something that's more of like a ground AoE, like, I don't know, Cleansing Ritual or something like that. What is it? Resto... Grand Illustrious Healing? I don't know, one of those things. One of these like this. I might run over one of these, right? Because that way I can just lay it on the ground and my buddies can stand in it, and it's a much better heal. Also, I don't like the Warden heals in general. They're just meh. They're better for the Warden itself and not as great for the people around it. And if you like Wardens, then I apologize for saying that. But that doesn't make it any better. So I would take Illustrious Heal. Because it's got a better heal. So I'm going to put this here. And where'd you go? And lay that down. And that takes every second. That's the bigger difference, because your hots that run with you take every other second. Boop. Boop. Right? Okay. Okay, that's the character sheet for Vampire. Blah, blah, blah. Jewels of Misrule. Max Magic. All good. We are a Nord. Went over that. Okay. Inventory. What's the build? We have Rallying Cry on the front bar. Restoration Staff. The Magic Enchant Glyph doesn't have to be there. It can be, because it'll just pump you up even more. I recommend doing heavy attacks in between anything you're doing, so that you can get a benefit from the passive in the Restoration Staff, which is Essence Drain. You gain Major Mending for 4 seconds after completing a fully charged heavy attack, increasing your healing by 16%. You also heal yourself and an ally within 15 meters for 53%. Wow. You heal yourself and an ally for 53% of the damage inflicted. Now, you're not getting much penetration on this build, right? You don't have much power on this build, but you do get something out of that, okay? So Rallying Cry on the front bar, that's going to give us and our teammates 300 weapon and spell damage and 1600 critical resistance. So we're not going to pump anything else into critical resistance. We're going to leave all of our other armor non-crit resistance, okay? Because 1600 plus 1300 is like a million. Actually, I think it's like 3k. The stats you have here plus your base stats. Base stats are going to be, as you see at the bottom, 1320 is close to 3k, right? All right. Next. Rallying Cry. Powerful Assault. Defending back bar with a shield. You can run a stamina absorption glyph if you'd like. If you have anything else you'd like to run, like a dot or whatever, be my guest. You have something else you feel like is better in mind, go right ahead, okay? Magic Absorb. Stamina Absorb. I have Precise on the front bar so we can power up our heals. And I have Defending on the back bar with a shield. Divines to add a little bit more to our divines. I'm just kidding. You can run whatever you want here. You can run Infused. You can get higher stamina. You can run Reinforced so you can get more armor out of it. You know, and you might want more armor on the back bar. We're kind of playing towards that idea. If we get, you know, if we're getting focused, we can flip to the back bar and survive longer. So Reinforced might be a better option here. 2 heavy pieces of Earth Gore. Why Earth Gore? Because in PvP, we are getting hit with all kinds of negative effects. This can happen every 20 seconds, which is freaking awesome. It used to be 30. They reduced it down to 20. It lasts for 8 seconds. It's a beautiful heal. I think it can, yes, it can crit. The heal can crit. And it removes all negative effects. So I think I already said that. We're going to have both weights in Reinforced to add more to our armor. The critical piece to this build, and why we run this as a 2-man team, and why it's part of the Fire and Ice duo setup, is going to be because of the Cryptcanon's Vestments. We're going to build some ultimate, and then we're going to share that ultimate, right? Booyah. I put one huge glyph on this maximum magic. I didn't need any extra stamina because I am a Nord and I'm running Powerful Assault. So putting a tri-stack glyph on here was not helpful. So max magic, infused. That's the best way to take advantage of this chest piece because it only gives you 1300 armor, right? So anything else, because the chest piece automatically makes the glyph a little bit stronger because you know, your chest piece does everything better, making it infused is the way to go. Another part here we have is the shoulder. Again, we're getting 2813 out of both the Pauldron and the Visage. Rallying Cry on the waist, 1 piece. That just gives us access to the crit chance on both bars. I was trying to add a, what do you call it, set? A arena set, but the monster was way more important. Earth Gore is just too good. Okay. Powerful Assault, 1, 2, 3. Bracers, legs, feet. I went with everything that I could to be divines where it was, which is the last 4 pieces, 1, 2, 3. And that's going to help us to improve our crit chance because we're running the Thief Mundus, which improves our heals. I did no stamina glyphs except for on the shield because I forgot to change that one. I would probably change that one to whatever you want. I have no idea. Health to improve our tankiness on the back bar. It could be max mag because some of our heals on the back bar, you know, all of your heals are going to be procced off of your highest stat. So, and max magic is our highest stat. So you can go max magic here if you'd like, or health, depending on how you're feeling. We have 1 arcane jewelry piece with 1 multi-effect, which is just a spell damage glyph, magic damage glyph, okay? I'll say that again. 1 magic damage glyph on an arcane piece, okay? This is where the build to me gets a little bit fun. The whole build's been fun to make, right? But this is even more fun as well because you're like, man, how do I afford all these skills? Well, guess what? Both rings infused with magic cost reduction. That's going to reduce the skill cost down 650%, or 650 points, which is almost 1,000, right? And it's actually when you get close to 1,000, that's almost 1,000,000. So getting to 1,000 is just that much close to 1,000,000. If we're at 1,000,000, then everything's free, right? Just kidding. But it does make a huge difference. It does make a huge difference, okay? Not to mention again, our weapon power will go up as we are in combat and we're in Cyrodiil by 600. And then when you have all of your weapon power bonuses added on top of 600, it'll probably be closer to 700 improvement. So we're sitting at right now, without our buffs, of wow, well, that doesn't make any sense. 14. Okay, why do we have so much power on the back bar, bro? Oh, no idea what's going on. Okay, but anyhow, we're sitting at 31 on the front bar, and then whenever we go, oh, probably Powerful Assault has a line of spell and weapon power, I bet. On the front bar, we have 31, 61. That'll increase by about 700. That'll put us around 3861 in EVP with all of our buffs running, which is going to make for more powerful heals, right? Next. I think that goes over the entirety of the gear. Let's go over all the skills real quick. We're going to go with Polar Wind on the back bar, Revealing Flare, Polar Wind for our individual self-healing. If we get focused, we're going to just pop that as much as we can to stay alive. We're going to ask our buddy who's with us to help peel that person off. Revealing Flare is going to just, for not casting at all, we're just using that for major protection. Blue Betty to make sure we're constantly having our magic regen. Ice Fortress for our major resolve and for minor protection, which is going to be added with major protection. Now we have major and minor protection on the back bar. And we're going to have Echoing Vigor so we can proc our Powerful Assault and get access to, guess what, our most powerful heal over time. This heal over time also travels with your guys, right? You cast it one time in the 16 seconds, and wherever you guys walk, it walks with you. So we're going to have two of those heals over time working. It'll be this one and that one. And now we're going to have hopefully close to 3k heals per second between those two heals in combat. Next, this is Crypt Transfer because of our Cryptcanon's Vestments. We're going to just press that when we want our buddies to have their extra ultimate. Back to our front bar. This is directly from the Wolster. He said Shimmering Shield was a great idea because it gives us major heroism. Right? So that's at the very bottom. It says each time you absorb a projectile, you gain 2 ultimate and gain major heroism. Goodness. And it's got a huge shield. That pairs very nicely with our Crypt Cannons, which gives us, guess what? If you read the second paragraph or second sentence, it says gain minor heroism while you are in combat. You now have major and minor heroism. Big thanks to Bolster on that one. I would definitely have forgot about that and left that completely off the bar. And we're trying to build ultimate. So right here, this one is Deceptive Predator. It is here just to give us Expedition. Actually, it's a multitude of reasons. We're getting Expedition on the first sentence. Second sentence, we're getting immunity to snares and immobilization for 4 seconds. That's a huge in Cyrodiil. And the third sentence, while starting getting minor evasion, reducing our AoE damage. All great, all useful. Radiating Regen, which we went over as being our second heal over time that travels with us. Those are the most important heals in PvP, are the heals that travel with us. Our only burst heal, which is Combat Prayer, which is going to give us access to minor resolve and minor berserk. So I'm going to press this and that and go back to my front bar. And now I'm at 28k spell resistance, right? On the back bar, because I have both major and minor resolve, I now have 32k resistances and 31k physical resistances, not including and on top of minor and major protection and being a vampire. Right? Problems for the bad guys. Combat Prayer is our most powerful prayer. I believe it is also a little bit cheaper, or maybe it's the same exact cost as our other prayers that or other heals you would be getting from the Warden spell classes, but this is just a little bit, to me, it has a little bit more benefits that are going to be helpful in Cyrodiil, okay? With the powers that you're being given. We have Illustrious here. It can be replaced by anything you really want. I like Illustrious if you need it. If you're kind of just sitting in a keep trying to protect your buddies, or if your buddies are trying to keep assault, you need to lay a heal down to help them keep assaulting, right? That's fine. Go ahead and have that. If you're running into any other troubles, right? You're doing solo, running around, you're not really taking keeps, you're just trying to like help other people clear out resources, or you are just taking resources and you're taking pressure. Having purge on the bar is going to be huge, right? You can be like boop, boop, right? Super expensive. But in PvP, especially right now with all these meta builds having dots on them, having a purge every once in a while is going to be super helpful. Removes 3 negative effects. It's not even every negative effect. It's just 3, right? And we reduced the cost down actually with our glyphs from 5,300 something down to 4,700. So that's way better. Everything else is more affordable as well. Again, purge if you need it. We're gonna have Earth Gore running to help us out with that, so you may not need it. But if you do, because you feel like your buddies are just taking too much pressure, go ahead and take it. You can also take off Powerful Assault if you don't want to run that, and run instead Curse Eater. You're gonna lose just a tiny bit of resistances, but with our back bar being so tanky, being up to 32k resistances right now, you can lose a couple extra resistance points here and there and still be super tanky when you're being focused. What would I replace this with? If I'm just trying to add more tankiness to my allies, I could replace it with Ward Ally since I'm running in a pair. The shield increases by 100% if your ally is below has lower health, right? So lower health target gets more of a shield. Okay. I believe, yeah. And then you could also replace it with, like we said, Illustrious. So Illustrious or Ward Ally are great for the content. I do like Ward Ally better when I'm doing just my pairings, and I would probably like Illustrious healing better if we're taking keeps and I'm not facing a lot of pressure. All right, that's all on that. The last part, which is also semi-crucial, is going to be the champion points. There's so many champion points that are just so much fun to try out and run. I like Soothing Tide. Everything is negotiable except this one. Non-negotiable. You have to have it. Your buddy drops below 25% health, all of a sudden gets a free cleanse. That's now pairing with Earth Gore. So you got a couple of free cleanses going here. So if you don't want to run Curse Eater and you don't want to run Purify, then you don't have to. You can kind of get out of it by doing that. But cleansing ritual, I mean, it would be best to have all of them, as many cleanses as humanly possible, just because the meta right now is dots. Soothing Tide, area of effect, which is going to power up our main heal, which is Combat Praetor. Boom. And then what else we have? Rejuvenator. That's gonna improve the heals of every heal we have. Every heal is gonna get powered up by this. And then Cleansing Ritual, that's the one we just went over. The last one is Enduring Resolve, reduces your damage taken by damage over time attacks. You could pick anyone right there to replace it with. If whatever one you think is going to make you more tanky as a healer. If it's the direct damage, if it's single target's probably the best. So if I was to go here and get Duelist. Okay. Duelist. Oh, there we go. Yeah, because most dots that are going to be super powerful dots are single target effects. So Duelist Rebuff is probably the best one that you want to have. Again, real quick, how do you play it? Or how do you make it tankier? Because you are a healer and you might get focused. Combat Prayer. Back bar, shield, sword and board. Get your little storm going and then block. And use this to just heal up. Right? Block and heal up. Best you can do. You don't want to just like hold block the whole time, because that's going to take away your ability to do other things. So just block when you need, block a little bit, let go, block a little bit, get your buddy over there to kind of help you. That's it. think that's it. Yeah, I don't have any of the skin overlays that I want to have on this character right now. This is just kind of like, I think that's it. It looks like it's working really well because I mean I can cast. One of the things I was concerned about when I first came out with it was, what are my regions going to look like? And is that going to be a big issue? So I'm just going to cast up a little bit. I'm going to practice like it's a full pull, boom, and then here, a full pull. Now I'm not actually heavy attacking on something specific. When you do a heavy attack with the restoration staff, you're going to get way more resources back. So you should be able to maintain it just by heavy attacking. You know, getting one person that kind of just stands, you know, stand in front of you, you use it, you know. We should be okay here. I think that's it. The food, red Frothgar. I'm sorry, Jewels of Misrule. Because we want to make sure we have good stamina regen when we are using our vigor, and we have to break free and do all that other stuff. The red CPs were, one of them had to be, you know, the free break free, just because that's important as well. Done? All right. I think we're done.